Hola DragonCrafters, this is Warcrow and welcome to Dragons Productions Gaming Talk. In this episode we'll be talking about Never Alone, a really nice small indie game developed by Upper One Games. The game tells the story of a little girl called Nuna and her Arctic folks. Nuna belongs to a certain Alaskan tribe called the Inupiaq. I certainly pronounced that wrong, I'm really sorry for that. And basically the game itself is categorized as platform puzzle thing. And let me tell you something before we go on with this. This game is absolutely fantastic, but not for its gameplay value. The gameplay value is mediocre, at least. For me, I hated the game at some point. I'm like, oh my god, I have to do this again? I couldn't wait until I could finish the game. And that's never good when you actually play a video game. You don't play for anything else, you play to the video game for the video game. That's about it, right? Well, here's the thing. In Never Alone, you don't really care about the gameplay. You care about the experience of the whole thing, the game as a whole. Never Alone, what it does, basically, it doesn't reward you with new styles of play, well, it does reward you with new levels. By the way, the art of Never Alone is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I absolutely adore it. It's fantastic. It's cartoony like, and it's very detailed. You know, it's really pretty and colorful and all that. It's fantastic, to say the least. But why the game is really good, why does it shine that much, is because you get to learn. The reward of this game are videos, are simply videos, just simple videos, created by the developers, the Upper One Games team, which have certain Inupiaq members of the Inupiaq tribe, which is Nuna, the heroine, the protagonist of this game is from, and they tell you, they teach you things about their culture, the Inupiaq culture. Now, the Inupiaq tribe is an Alaskan native tribe. Basically, it's from Alaska, right? And you get to learn so much stuff. This is what I love about this game. It's not the gameplay. The gameplay is shit, let's put it that way. Some people like it, I don't. I found it extremely repetitive and boring, like I said before. What I enjoyed this game, why I enjoyed this game actually, is definitely the videos that I watch, getting to learn more of this culture, about the Inupiaq tribe. Now, let me tell you this. There are over, I think it's like 12 to 15, or were at least, different Alaskan tribes. And they all have their own stories to tell, you know. And like every culture out there has its own story to tell. Every city, anyone, every person has his own story to tell. And being able to learn something from, you don't really hear much from Alaska. I mean, there is snow there, and there is ice, and there is polar bears, for crying out loud. People don't really say, oh, I'm gonna move out to Alaska, and say, oh, okay, cool. No, it's something that you don't know, something that humanity hasn't delved too much into, especially the tribe themselves, the people that live there, how they live, why they live there, what is their story, their backstory. This is absolutely incredible to know. And getting to Inupiaq members to talk to you about it, that is absolutely fantastic, to say the least. Just imagine that. Having members of a tribe talk to you about their customs, what they do. By the way, there's one thing I didn't like about these videos, is a certain young lady. She kept saying community over and over again. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was her style, her way of saying it. It didn't feel very real. Maybe she was nervous. I really hope it's that. But what I saw, what I learned from the Inupiaq tribe, I really, really enjoyed. Now, back to the game for a bit. First of all, you play as Nuna, and you are accompanied by a little small Arctic fox. Small Arctic fox, not a little bitch. So, what is this game? The game is, like I said, a platform game, and it's very, very boring. It gets very boring very soon. The main story lasts about 3 to 4 hours, which is fantastic. It's a really nice short game, indie game to play. And like I said, you don't play it for the game itself, you play it for the stories that you learn. By the way, the narrator of the story, because Nuna doesn't speak, the narrator of the story talks in the Inupiaq dialect, which is absolutely fantastic. Being able to play a game and not knowing, I mean, you see the subtitles, because otherwise you don't know what he's about to say. You see the subtitles and it's like, oh my god, what am I hearing? It's like when you first hear a foreign language, a language that is not in your mother tongue, like, what the hell is what are they talking about? I remember the first time I just heard English in a movie or a TV series, I can't remember. Or when I first started watching anime, I was really shocked when I was watching the subtitles and hearing a completely different language. It was absolutely, exhilarating for me. I love learning new languages and new cultures and new customs and all that. And that, being able to experience that through the Inupiaq style, the Inupiaq members, it was absolutely fantastic. By the way, at the start of each story, I actually, of the main story and the DLC, the Foxtails, I noticed this. I think, I could be wrong, I could be proven wrong, the Inupiaq elders or the storytellers of each tribe and all that, they all start with this. This is a story told by that guy that I cannot really remember any name, like Narok and Narak, whatever, doesn't matter. They all start with saying that how someone else told this story. It doesn't necessarily mean that they live the story. They start with that just to show respect and honoring their ancestors, those that told them the story, in order for it to continue orally. Because, well, actually, it's not only orally. The Inupiaq tribe and most Alaskan tribes, they were writing in. I really cannot pronounce that thing. It's basically not to a wall. Well, both the walls and to a certain wooden stuff. I don't know, really don't know what to call it. But they were collecting, they were drawing their stories. Kinda like comics, if you put it that way. Just completely horizontal. It's like a really long thing and telling the story. That's how they were telling their stories. They were keeping it for recording and record keeping and all that. This is how they passed on, by orally and through that thing that I cannot pronounce. I'm really sorry. Now, Never Alone does this wonderfully. It teaches you the story of the Blizzard Giant, the Little People, the Manslayer. All these are Inupiaq. I don't know. Goddamn, Inupiaq stories. That's how it is. Just like how every culture, every country, every tribe has its own stories. That way, Inupiaq tribe has its own, and it tells us through Never Alone. And this is the main selling of this point, being able to play a game. Just play the game, and being able to learn stuff. I think this is extremely important. Being able to learn from something that from many is considered, not too valuable as an art. Some even don't even believe it. Video games are an art, even though it's definitely something there. I mean, it combines so much: music, graphics, visuals, gameplay, being able to think, on the spot, literally, voice acting. It has so much stuff in it, and people still don't consider it worthy enough to be called art. But anyway, I'm not gonna go away from the main point of this video. Gaming Talk, DragonCraft Gaming Talk, is all about talking about games, not necessarily giving them reviews or bad scores or negative things or pointing out the positive. We're just talking about games, pointing out everything that we can. So, Never Alone is a small indie game that is not only enjoyable as it is, although it can get pretty boring really soon. Although, let me tell you this, all the puzzles that I have encountered, well, pretty much all the puzzles actually, they all had some kind of logic. It's not that hard to understand, it's really easy, and like the game is like literally, including the DLC, 5 to 6 hours, you can easily figure out the game really, really fast. What matters though is the ability to being taught something, and when you finish this game, there are actually some, some lessons, some life lessons that you yourself, as a player, as the gamer, as the controller of Nuna, and enabling her to complete the stories. This is what you did, and this is because of you. And you actually learn something, not just customs and that. All the stories that we hear from our grandmothers and all that, they all have a certain thing to tell us, a certain lesson to teach us. For example, in Fox Tales, the DLC of Never Alone, what does it teaches you? It teaches you that you must treat every life with respect. How simple of a lesson this is, and how epic, just to say that, it is to being able to teach someone about it through a story, through a video game, because this is what it's all about. You play a video game, and this is the lesson that it teaches you. Like when you read a book or listen to a song, listen to some music, and you get something out of it, and it teaches you something, it tells you something. It's a way of expressing. This is what gaming has become. It's a way of expressing someone, and Upper One Games has definitely done that. They have showed to so many people the Inupiaq tribe from the Alaska. Now, I'm gonna cut this video short. It's already way too long. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I really do. And if you liked it, please throw a like and subscribe to the channel. The usual stuff, like everyone else saying. And guys, I'm really here to talk about video games, not just, just talk to you and try to get some likes and all that and make something out of it. I am here to talk about video games because I love video games, right? And I want to talk with you as well. So please leave a comment below in the description, or send an email at the description, at the email you can find in the description. Bah, the asshole. Thank you for watching. This was Warcrow, and thank you for watching. I'm signing out. See ya.